Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to give you 5 coaster predictions to be Kings Island's next roller coaster. The first one is a B&M wing coaster. This would make sense for Kings Island in the future. I just don't see this being Kings Island's next coaster, but it could make some sense because Kings Island does love working with B&M, as most of the Cedar Fair coasters they've gotten are from B&M, like Diamondback, Banshee, and Orion. But I definitely think that there are better options out there. This would just be a fun way for Kings Island to get a kind of gimmicky coaster without going way overboard or going with a company they don't really have much trust with. This coaster would have good inversions and good near-miss elements, which are both something that Kings Island are missing. The only problem with this is it most likely wouldn't be launched, even though it can be with rides like Thunderbird, and I definitely could see a launch wing coaster looking great in Vortex's plot of land. I just don't see it being very likely. I give it a 10% chance of happening. Next is RMC Son of Beast. This would be an amazing RMC hybrid coaster that would most likely stand at a height of anywhere from 218 to over 250 feet. This ride would fit perfectly in a new themed area over by the Beast and make it into a Beast themed area where you could have this, the Beast, and then a family hybrid coaster if they wanted to, called Grand Son of Beast. This would definitely add something to Kings Island and add some good theming to this area of the park and kind of re-theme Rivertown into this new area of the Beast. This would definitely be the star attraction and definitely be the #1 coaster at Kings Island and compete with rides like Steel Vengeance, Zadra, Air Force One, and Iron Gwazi to be the world's best hybrid coaster. This ride could have insane airtime and go back into the woods, and also provide some pretty good night rides like the Beast does. And this ride could even interact with the Beast to make it more of a modern attraction, to make it definitely a different ride experience from the rides that it used to give. Now, this coaster doesn't make much sense because Steel Vengeance is right down the road, and I don't know how Cedar Fair would really want to top that, but they definitely could if they really wanted to, considering Iron Gwazi has already topped it and Air Force One is considered to be definitely up there with the level of Steel Vengeance. This ride could have good intensity, good airtime, which is both things that Kings Island is missing. If they really wanted to, they could have RMC try to launch another coaster, but I don't see RMC trying to do that again with the failure of the problems that Lightning Rod has had. However, they could do it if they really wanted to. This ride would have to have a few inversions though to be like Vortex, so I can see this ride having like 4 to 5 inversions, but one would definitely have to be a 100-foot vertical loop. Even though this isn't very RMC, a Son of Beast recreation would definitely have to have this because it was the most important element to Son of Beast, other than its 218-foot height and 214-foot drop. This was definitely the best element of the ride according to most people, and would definitely provide some good intensity for the ride. The only problem with this is it would slow down the ride and destroy some of that insane pacing that RMC is known for, but they definitely could find a way to work around this. This ride would provide some of the best airtime in the park, if not the best, and definitely destroy Mystic Timbers, Orion, and Diamondback as the best coaster at Kings Island. This ride would provide good intensity, the best intensity in the park probably, and definitely give you that out of control feeling in the park that you can only get on rides like Mystic Timbers, because they are the only one with rapid pacing and quick ejector airtime. The only problem with this coaster would be is how big could you go with it, considering the Beast is back there and Vortex's plot of land wasn't very big. You could really do 2 things with this if you decided not to put this over by Outpost 5. You could go back into the woods by cutting down some trees and letting them grow back in the future, or you could take out the Tomb Raider building and build it over by Diamondback, so go from the Vortex plot of land out behind Diamondback to where the Tomb Raider building is to make this into a very large roller coaster. And my prediction for this coaster would be around 5,000 to 6,000 feet long with some good intensity and good inversions. This ride would provide different elements that Kings Island doesn't really have, providing a mix of floater, ejector, and inversions. This could also have some really good hang time, but the only problem with this coaster is it wouldn't include that launch that Kings Island is really missing, but it could have some inversions. Now let's move on to a launch coaster, and that's and I give that a 15% chance of happening. Now let's move on to a launch coaster, a Mach Extreme Spinner. These are some of the best roller coasters on the planet, and they have good hang time. Some of them do, like Ride to Happiness. They have a launch, and Mach's launches aren't the most punchy, but they can be decent. And this Ride to Happiness is considered a top 10 worthy coaster, providing good intensity, good inversions, and good launches, which are all things that Kings Island's really missing, and they really could use an insane launch coaster and a gimmicky coaster, which a Mach Extreme Spinner is very gimmicky, giving Kings Island a ride that they don't really have anything like. Gimmicky coasters are really important for parks to make it to give you a different ride experience than just being in a normal sit-down position like you would be on a normal roller coaster. The spinning cars would make this very interesting to provide something that Kings Island is really missing. Kings Island really doesn't have anything that's super gimmicky other maybe than the Bat or Banshee, but those are pretty common ride models. Well, they used to be. The Bat is no longer common. I know this isn't happening from an inside or a coaster stock, but I give that a 20% chance of happening just in case they change their mind. Next is a surf coaster like Pipeline at SeaWorld Orlando. This ride doesn't really make sense to be surfing themed like it is at SeaWorld, but it could make sense to make it a different kind of like boarding, like snowboarding, skating, something like that to make it different from Pipeline. This ride could have a launch, which Pipeline does, and it is gimmicky with the stand-up trains that are now coming back because of B&M. And these aren't your normal stand-up trains. They definitely, you have more room to move around, and you can jump up and down on the platform, making this ride have actually decent airtime and good intensity. This would definitely give Kings Island a different kind of a coaster experience that you can't get on many coasters throughout the world, as there's only one of these out there. And there are other stand-ups out there, but this is definitely one of the better models and definitely the most comfortable of any stand-up roller coaster. And I give this ride a 35% chance of happening. And now the coaster I think that's most likely to be Kings Island's next roller coaster is a B&M dive coaster. This is gimmicky because of its beyond vertical drops that can happen on the main lift or the mid-course. And I can see them getting the world's tallest dive coaster. And as I said earlier, the layout can start in the vortex plot of land and then head over to the old Tomb Raider building if they took that out. This ride would have inversions, so they could throw in 6 or 7 inversions on this coaster to make it as tribute to Vortex. I would assume they would put 6 as a tribute to Vortex, but who knows. And this ride has beyond vertical drops, airtime. The only problem I would have with this coaster are the vest restraints, which I don't really have that much of a problem with, but they can cause issue for some people, and I really don't want to deal with the vest on a coaster at Kings Island because we already have one in Banshee, and I definitely think this could be interesting for Kings Island, but I don't think it would be their best addition. A dive coaster would definitely fit in Kings Island's lineup, and with their love of B&M, I give this a, and overall I give this ride about a 70% chance of happening because Cedar Fair does love B&M. Bye guys, see y'all next time.